What is his biggest contribution? One is his contribution is with respect to Neo Vedanta. He is the initiator of that, where Vivekananda borrows. The biggest contribution is he has given Vivekananda, because that person takes his ideas from small village to the entire world. What does Vivekananda do? His disciple. When you look at why is he so charismatic a personality? No one can deny his contribution to the country. Why? Because he knew what is spirituality, he knew what is rationality. A person who is making a right combination of these two was this person, and he makes a combination of West and East. There are two episodic events. I said what makes your personality is certain episodic events. I discussed how Gandhi was influenced by certain plays and all. There were two episodic events. One is death of his father. Second is death of Ramakrishna, which changed his outlook towards life. He moves more towards spirituality. And he was always unhappy with India's poverty. He thought India is so rich in terms of its traditions. Under the British period, why is India suffering? So he takes the project of reviving Indian culture and he proposes a philosophy called practical Vedanta. Now, what is Vedanta? He says that just like your Advaita philosophy, your God, you have divinity in you. He says that there is divinity in you. Yes? But it is not spiritual. He is not going for yes, there is spirituality, but he is putting it to practical use. He says that you can explore your divinity. How do you explore? If you serve people. That is called practical Vedanta. So he is the founder of service. So he says if you're serving people, your divinity comes out. Now earlier what it used to be, like the austere people or people who are saints and all, they were separated from society. Now he is the first person who brings spirituality and puts it in society. That is where your Ramakrishna mission comes as a mission, how it is growing. This is what is his idea. He believes that monasticism is not living in seclusion. Monasticism is dealing in worldly things. And he was highly influenced by socialist ideas. He was a socialist. He says that I am a socialist. He says that my important aims in life are fighting poverty and hunger. That is why charity under Ramakrishna mission, etc. and all. So he talks about some sort of redistribution and all. Okay, and why was he so famous? He goes there, gives a famous Chicago speech. Why does he become so famous? Because he has two aspects within him. With his spirituality, he attracted Indians. With his rationality, he attracted the West. Now, when he was doing all this, he was reviving Indian culture or Hindu culture. He was instilling pride in Hindu culture. But he knew the wrong consequences of reviving certain cultures. What will happen? Excessive pride, you'll start hating others, etc. So he very clearly says, Indian civilization is not Hindu civilization. He says it's a mix of Hindu and Islam. And he talks about respect to other religions. That's a difference. Okay. Now, in this context, like I said, recently when the Prime Minister was inaugurating the statue, just beside Nehru it was. So he says now on JNU will run on Vivekananda's ideas. Why not Nehru when both are same? Nehru is also talking about respect to both the religions. Nehru in various instances brings Vivekananda and says, Vivekananda very clearly says it is respect to all the religions. It is not just Hindu culture. Today it is being misappropriated as something called he is the real Hindu, Nehru is not, when both are same. Is that clear? He was very clear about the problems of unity and problems of unification also. Is that clear? Okay. Now, the next person is Sarvapalli Radhakrishna. He is also one of the founding members of Hinduism. He writes a book called A Hindu View of Life, wherein he talks about certain aspects of Hinduism